Good morning, India, and welcome to this podcast of P Gurus and Gana Shot. We are into the Iran war day 19. 19 is the update. Actually, we are on the 20th day. As we see, there are no victors in this whole story of increased bleeding. That's what my graphic shows. Day 17, I showed a graphic with little bleeding. Today, it has increased. There is mutual assured bleeding. That's about all. In any case, a lot of things have happened over the past 24 hours, and we're gonna get to you a lot of things. Good morning, Shreya ji, and nice to see you with a nice live background, trees and all that. And how are you this day?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you so much. And hello to all our viewers from Gunner Shot and P Gurus. Hope your day is going to start very good. And wherever you are, if you're not in India, but you are somewhere else, like for example in the United States, it's evening time. We have a very cracker of a hangout here today. Thank you so much, sir. And looking forward to it.
Yeah, at the outset, a very happy Ugadi or Gudi Padava or Bihu or wherever you are. This is the time when a lot of, in India, across India, a lot of festivals take place, Baisakhi. It's all in a matter of a couple of days, depending on their culture, the date and all that. So our best wishes to everyone. Our best wishes to your whole family, Shreya ji.
Thank you so much, sir. And same to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's get going. What does the headline say today morning in all the newspapers? I'm leading on with Al Jazeera today. And this is important. This war has come to a place where things are going back to worse, right? If I thought yesterday things were moving towards what US has done, but something has happened. Israel went and hit the gas field, South Pars gas field of Iran, and Iran retaliated. And that's what Al Jazeera says. Iran attacks Qatar, Saudi, UAE energy sites. So Iran has retaliated. Riyadh says Tehran trust gone. So this war is now enlarging with Riyadh also like you to join in. Okay. And here we'll talk of this a little later. Qatar says Iran attack has damaged significantly the Ras Lafan gas facilities. So actually already if you remember that had been closed down due as a force majeure. Now it's been hit, so we don't know where it is. And an interesting thing, US Intel Chief Gabbard says Iran was not yielding enrichment prior to the war. That's coming out. Actually, they were not actually ready for anything. But well, that's a different story. That's gone past. Yeah. Now the New York Times says Trump's next decision is whether to retrieve Iran's oil, nuclear fuel, whatever the risk. I don't think personally Trump can do that. Okay. Uh, Karg Island is an appealing target for Trump, but what are the high risks? There are huge risks for Karg Island. Maybe today evening we'll discuss it in the Three Good General show, right? And of course, uh, right. And then New York Times also says Iran, Gabbard has now said, I turned over all the intelligence, everything to Trump, and Trump is the man who's to talk. So there's some issues within the US establishment which we have to see. Okay. And then Washington Post comes up with something more interesting. Pentagon seeks more than 200 billion in budget request for Iran war. So the cost for USA is going up. A similar thing is happening in Iran. Israel will talk of it. Iran, it doesn't matter. Okay, oil prices have climbed again. I think they've gone to about $104 per barrel. Okay, right. Here's the Wall Street Journal, which came out with a article. It says Gulf states want the US to cripple Iran's regime before ending the war. We've been talking of it. We've been talking of it often. We've said, look, if Iran survives with some amount of power and if US presence in this area has decreased or otherwise, the the Gulf states will be under tremendous pressure. Right. Shreya ji, your views on this and so far the headlines.
Thank you so much, sir. As Mahatma Gandhi said, an eye for eye, an eye for an eye is going to make the whole world blind. And whatever may have been Israel's reasons for attacking the gas field of Qatar, one of the things I can think of is repeated use of cluster bombs. Looks like they have done significant damage in two cities, Tel Aviv and one other city, the name I'm forgetting. And I think Israel was responding to that by taking out the some of. Actually, this is where things getting a little interesting. They didn't, decimate the gas infrastructure in Iran, South Pars field, but they just took out small portion. But the response from Iran at Qatar seems to have been substantive. So you see the thing. Basically, it's like, you strike mine, I'm going to strike yours. And this thing is going on now. This time, Iran has struck not just Qatar, but it has struck Bahrain, it struck Kuwait, it struck KSA, and it is also trying to strike at UAE. And UAE has been the receiving end of the bulk of the missiles and the drones. So
Yep.
I
Yeah,
mean,
please.
why are you going after all these people, Iran? I mean, I don't understand. If Israel took out part of the natural gas thing, why are you taking it out on the other people? So this is definitely a decentralization effect, in my opinion. Let's continue from here.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things happening. Let's go ahead and see what's the next. I have the whole packet. We'll discuss each of these things which
Yeah.
Shreya you said one by one. And of course, South China Morning Post, bland. There's nothing, right? About yeah, only thing is Red Sea fixed China bound oil tankers to tap Saudi uh, oil line. That means South China, China is looking to slip away, get to the Yanbu post and get through Red Sea Red Sea route. So, like I said yesterday, China has an exit plan. China is only busy with its exit plan. And so, those of you who have not seen that exit plan, please have a look at it. I've explained yesterday what China's exit plan is all about. Okay. Next, Ismail Khatib, yesterday, the intelligence chief of Iran, he was taken out, right? His intel minister has been killed in a strike. Israelis have done it. And Israelis are continuing to, take the leadership out. And that's, of course, par for the course. What's not par for the course is the gas field, but we'll talk of it a little ahead. USS Tripoli. Yesterday it had crossed Singapore and Malacca Straits and that area. So today I suppose it will be somewhere around Colombo or somewhere around that area. I mean south of Sri Lanka. So by tomorrow or so it should reach, the area, and then we'll see what USA will do with all these people. We'll discuss that also today evening. Okay. Iran yesterday announced they put the 61st wave. Like I said, 3 to 4 waves in a day is what their thing is. 3 to 4 waves into about 4 to 5 missiles. About 15 to 20 missiles is what they are firing every day, right? And this time yesterday they've hit UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Cyprus. They went up, pushed up thing up to Cyprus, right? And this was before the gas field was hit in the evening, right? Thus, this they said was in retaliation of killing of Ali Larijani. Okay. Now let me get to this oil field and explain to you what this oil field is all about. Look, this is the oil field. What you see here, I'll make the thing full so that you can have a look. Right? Yeah, the oil field here is the orange one. Okay, and this is Qatar. This is the oil field. The oil field is the same. Sorry, not the oil field, the gas field. This is the gas field. The gas field is the same underneath. But Iran gets it out of South Pars, which is the northern end of this gas field, and Qatar takes it out of North Field, right, which is at the southern end of this gas field. It's a common actually thing. Each one takes out what they can, and it's one of the biggest gas fields in the world. It has 20% of the world's energy. Now, yesterday evening, the South Pars natural gas field in Bushehr province, that this part of Bushehr province was taken out by Israel. As a retaliation, the LNG plant in the North Field offshore plant has been hit by Iran, Qatar's. And outside this, all these green dots are the oil fields. So this is oil gas rich area, and this has been hit very badly. I just thought I'll put it in a picture and show it to you. And once this was hit, Iran said, "Look, we're going to hit back. We're going to hit back at this." So it was a eye for eye, tooth to tooth, which Shreyarji was saying. They'll say we'll burn everything and will be no ashes. And then when this warning had come out, right, the Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United UAE, everyone said they evacuated their oil and gas facilities. They must have saved lives. So far, there's no report of lives being lost, right? Based on the threat. But then they hit. And Iran hit 9 countries in a single night, including 7 of the wealthiest nations on earth. That's thing. But the fact is, they've hit. And they've hit in this picture, what you see in the corner is let me make it a little bigger. Yeah. They've hit the Ras Laffan area where the LNG plant is. They fired 5 ballistic missiles on it, and 4 were intercepted. One hit, and one has caused extensive damage. From what I know so far and what I could gather so far, the damage is extensive. The recovery and repair could take as much as uh, 2 months to 6 months, right? If 2 months to 6 months, the Oman oil is out of equation, or rather the Qatar oil is or LNG is out of equation, there's going to be a lot of problems. And we had a huge connect with Qatar, and a lot of our LNG was coming from there. And of course, Iran, I believe, can recover within about say a week, 10 days, maybe a month. And now there'll be a lot of pressure on Iran. Yeah, 1 minute coming. There'll be a lot of pressure on Iran and how to cap Iran's oil and gas export. So we're going to see escalation. This is not the end of the day. That's my assessment so far. Over to you, Shriyarji.
Thank you so much, sir. So you just told us what I had said, that the hit on the oil installations inside Iran was not a big one from Israel. It was just more like, we are going to do this to you if you keep putting cluster bombs at us. I'm connecting the dots here because that was the escalation from Iran's side. They've been again putting cluster bombs, and they are taking out a fair amount of area, like 8 square kilometers. It can damage. It can, and it's very difficult to stop these cluster bombs. And that seems to have been the provocation. So you just echoed what I said, sir, that when Iran responded, they did considerable damage to Qatar. And Qatar and Oman, these were people who were your mediators. They were supposed to be your friends. If you have friends like this, who needs enemies? I mean, I don't understand this. Iran, yes, you are beaten. Yes, you are taking a beating like hell. Now, if you yourself lose your own LNG, because I'm telling you, sir, US has told Iran, you touch Qatar natural gas again, there'll be hell to pay. That is the Truth Social post from Trump. And
Yeah,
basically, so see, he has also done some double twisting here. We'll go on that later because that's the politics of the whole thing. We'll go on that later. But just this limited point I wanted to make, sir, back to you.
yeah. Thank you. I think that's it there. What you're saying is on the cards. They also hit the Aramco oil refinery in Riyadh. So, Qat- Iran is shooting almost everyone up.
Right.
Iran is probably burning everyone's house. I mean, it's say, look, मैं तो डूब गया सनम, हम आपको भी ले जाएंगे, सबको ले
Mhm.
जाएंगे. That's the whole thing. Iran actually has no cards to play but to kill everyone or finish off everyone. Right? Now, Iran is completely back to the wall. It's a cornered cat which is fighting back with whatever it can. Right. Iran missiles have attacked multiple points in Riyadh. It's not only the Aramco oil refinery it has hit. I could have shown you pictures, but they are gory pictures. There's nothing very great about it. There's some problems emerging in Israel. because it's all money. It comes down to money, and Israel is a democratic country. They've asked for more budget and people inside, and Israel politically is a very divided country. I mean, many people don't understand. Superficially, Israel looks very strong together and all, but in Israel, you have ranges from extreme right to extreme left in their parliament, and they get elected, and there is no party which can make a single party which can come to power. So they have their own problems. Let's see how this goes. And there's a post which has come out from Trump, who has actually blamed Israel for doing all this. After all, he blamed Israel earlier to bomb when they bombed Tehran. Now he said, why did you have to go and take this LNG terminal out? So are there some cracks between Israel and USA? Your views on this, Shreya?
Yes, indeed. I was going to come to that and then I stopped short because I was waiting for the flow to come towards this point. So, viewers, this is what is believed to have happened. Israel notified United States of its intention to hit the gas fields in Iran, and evidently Trump was okay with it, only to reverse himself afterwards and throw Israel under the bus. And why he did this, nobody can explain. After all, nobody is coming to your side except UAE so far. Nobody else has come to US's side to try and keep the bigger picture, which is almost straight, to keep that thing open. You don't have anybody else. So why did he have to reverse himself? I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with some moneyed groups from the Muslim countryside saying that, look, you need to condemn Israel. These things also happen. There will be, wars within wars, wheels within wheels. This guy will come and say, look, I gave you so much money. You saw that thing 2 days ago. We had this conversation where Kuwait accused Jared Kushner of taking the money and
Money,
not
yeah.
doing anything. Not doing anything. He put out the quiet part loud. So, so
Yeah,
we,
there are
we
problems. We'll see
yes,
this, but at the end of the day, I think Israel and USA will get around. And it's
yes,
Trump's style of politics to talk about this, because you might think that Israel is being thrown under the bus. You might think that Israel Trump was shifting blame to his others, commanders and everyone else, and Jared Kushner and all that. But I don't think. I think this they will have to see this through. They have no choice. In fact, we'll come to it a little later. There are developments within the Arab world. I think Saudi Arabia has come out very strongly. We'll see how it goes, and I'll just get to the slides back. Yeah, and you know what Shreyarji was saying yesterday, Iran has dropped cluster bombs on Israel, and that's bad. And well, Iran, like I said again, Iran has got no choice. Though cluster bombs are banned as per international convention and all, every country has them. Okay, all these MIRVs and all are also in some manner cluster bombs only. So everyone has them. There's a problem there. And then there's this interesting uh, conversation between Rajdeep Sardesai and Farid Zakaria. And Sardesai says, are we on an escalatory ladder in the West Asia? Can Iran fight back? And if so, what kind of a asymmetric warfare and all that? I found the logic which Farid Zakaria gave was quite nice. Look, it's not anything great. Let me also put it this way. But he puts it in a different words. So it's what we've been saying. So let's hear that. And then I'll ask Sri Ayerji for his comments. Okay. And yeah, here we go.
Iran is a big supplier of oil on the world market.
1 minute.
Moment also, but Iran today has also threatened energy assets in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, claiming that there has been an attack on their gas facilities. Therefore, the danger at the moment, as you say, the more Iran gets attacked in this manner, their leadership taken out, they could get even more reckless, to use one word, or certainly more aggressive, whichever way you look at it, and draw in even more countries into this battle. Is that a real threat?
I think there's no question that as Iran fears, as the regime fears that it is, going to be destroyed, it will go for more and more extreme measures. The question is, do they have the capacity? Remember, Iran is very weak. They really have been destroyed. Their military capacity is substantially down. I mean, drone attacks even are down 75, 80%, missile attacks down 90, 95%. But they can, that's not 100%. They can shoot a missile here, a missile there, a drone here, a drone there. And if they start targeting oil facilities, that is going to change the nature of the escalation, moving it substantially higher. What will take oil to $150 a barrel, Rajdeep, would be attacks on oil facilities, which so far have been spared. And if the United States were to attack Iranian oil facilities, that would also have the effect of driving up prices, because after all, Iran is a big supplier of oil on the world market. And you take Iran's supply off market, it will have the same effect as reducing supply anywhere does.
Because we've got
Yeah. Now he's made 2 points, and I want your views and thing. He's made 2 points. Iran doesn't need to have an arsenal, even if it is dying. It has very few things it can bust up the oil infrastructure there, which it is doing. Right. Second, any action hereafter, the oil prices will go up, and it's going up. So what do you make of this whole thing? And we've been speaking of it. It's a repetition, but I still want your comments on this.
Thank you so much, sir. So, viewers, let's go down to the numbers now. The most affected countries from all that's happening in the Middle East now are three. Number one, Japan. 70% of its oil comes from the Middle East. Same with South Korea, about 70%, and 42 to 45% for India. So India needs to scramble to find a way to offset what it's going to not get here. And this is a huge deal. So this is the actual numbers as it stands today. And it could only get worse because, like General Shankar says, that if it takes 6 months for Qatar to come back online with its LNG, then by Jove, I mean, India can't wait that long. There are people. See, I was not aware of this, and somebody like my editor Sachin told me that there are 1.32 crore households in India that used piped natural gas. That means that is LNG. So there's LNG, there's LPG. Viewers, there's a slight difference between the two. Liquefied natural gas is used in various forms. Piped natural gas, compressed natural gas that runs in many buses, in city buses and things like that, as well as many taxi kind of thing, like Uber taxis and stuff. They use
Yeah,
CNG
CNG.
too. CNG. So that is going to be a challenge now. What India used to get from Qatar was at a certain price, let's say. If it needs to go and get it from even Russia, I think the price is going to go up.
Yeah, price will
And
go up.
will go up. And that means, see, this is the direct cost, indirect cost model. The price goes up of one direct element, then it starts spreading onto the other things. And that's going to be an inflationary effect on India too. So this is very, very unfortunate what's going on. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, Iran is hurting too, General Shankar. If it continues to do this thing, it's got only one source of revenue, and that is oil exports. Oil meaning LNG and energy exports. And if it keeps doing this, the other side has more powerful weaponry. They can give you more long-lasting damage. And why? See, this is what I'm trying to say, that an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Why is Iran taking this step? You can be unhappy. Yes, I feel for the Iranian people. What is their fault in all this? Some
Yeah.
supreme
That
mullah and a small clique of IRGC people have gotten hot-headed. What did the poor people of Iran do? You are ruining yourself.
yeah, I agree
That's my
with you
limited point,
completely.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you completely. The problem is this: Iran doesn't have a leadership. You see, who takes the decision? We saw yesterday in that family tree which I showed. Everyone is gone. We don't know whether
Yes.
Mustafa is in the country or not, whether he's alive or dead. We don't know whether he's in a fit state to talk or not. Right? So far, no one has seen him after he's been appointed the Grand Mufti or cleric or whatever that major mullah is. Okay. And everyone else is gone. Now the intel chief Khatib is also gone. Some Basit chap is also gone. And the president, people say, wants to resign. So where does it leave Iran? Who's to take the decision not to do it? I suppose the way it is, there's some military fellow there who's saying, okay, my gas field got hit, I got the information, I'm going to take out the other chap's gas field, I'll take it out more, without realizing what this thing. So there is a lack of leadership. You see, one of the things which Trump and Israel have done is, by emaciating the leadership of Iran, there's no room for negotiation. Whom do you talk
Correct,
to?
correct, correct.
Whom do you talk to now? Whom
See,
do you appeal to?
they are trying to make it look like Pezeshkian is the only guy who can speak for the people of Iran. I don't know. I'm just thinking. See,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they have still
maybe.
left the political leadership, right? They have not touched the foreign minister, right? Agrachi.
But the point is that, will Iran, people of Iran accept it? Obviously, they're not accepting. That's why Pezeshkian wants to resign. And it's not a, right? He wants to resign. And every day, every time, I mean, I've been following his thing for the past 1 year, ever since he got elected. I find him a nice guy. I mean,
Very
when I say
true.
nice guy, a
Yeah,
good guy and sensible character. But he's not been given any political leeway. He's not been given any military leeway. He's not got any strategic thought process. Anytime he's, you know, attempted to de-escalate, the IRGC and the mullahs and all these, whoever they are there, the hardliners in the regime, have come up and shut him down. So I think things are not going, this is a problem. I don't know how people are going to get over it. There's no point. You can keep bombing Iran to kingdom come. There's no this thing. Then, of course, there's a major issue of the Strait of Hormuz itself. Which one thing is very clear. We'll see this U.S. fleet coming in and they want to do something and all. They can't do anything on Kargil until the Strait of Hormuz is cleared, which I said.
correct,
And
correct.
Kargil and Strait of Hormuz won't be cleared till such time that that major island called Kashem, which is cleared, Abu Musa and Siri. There are three islands. If till such time these are not cleared, no way. And that, I don't think with 2,500 Marines it can be done. Right. I
I
mean,
think
it's
the
not
number
simple.
now is gone up to 5,000, is what I'm
No,
hearing, sir.
even
Yeah.
5,000 Marines won't be able to do it. This needs a larger force. You need a proper ground invasion of that area and securing that entire area. Right? It's not a it's a proper amphibious assault. And it has to be preceded by considerable softening of that area. You might have to put some multiple, bunker busters with the mother of all bombs kind and blast that place off. Make and there are, that place doesn't have water. You have to the desalination plants you have to take off and yeah, whoa, all that, and then only. And I don't see that happening in the next 10 to 15 days. Right? So we'll see what these chaps do in the evening. We'll take this call. So there is a problem. Yeah, please.
Sir, a couple of other things I forgot to mention. See, again, this is where I'm finding, Iran is sticking it to itself. What has Iran done? Iran used to be able to mint one Bitcoin for about $1,300. Now, that part also is severely damaged because they used to rely on LNG to create their own electricity, which would in turn power their processes, which would in turn mine for bitcoins. Remember, viewers, there's only 2 billion bitcoins left. This whole cryptocurrency thing it's a enigma on its own. But that part also is now affected. Secondly, much of the number two type of businesses that Iran used to do, it used to rely on the markets of UAE to move
Yeah.
it through, whether they were buying properties, whether they were moving stuff, everything. That's why I'm saying number two. Number one is the actual dollar thing, which they don't have any access to. So they are doing all these things. And you go and bomb UAE. Why would UAE want to help you?
No, that's
So
gone. It's gone.
yeah.
That's a foolishness.
So
That's
you've cut
foolishness
off your
completely.
nose. You have cut off your nose because you don't like your face. You are willing to cut your hand because you think that that hand is not listening to you. I mean, what are you trying to do, guys? What exactly? I mean, even these localized commanders, I'm telling you, apply your freaking mind. What are you trying to do here? And sir, one question I have for you: how are these missiles sneaking through?
No, they're there. There's nothing to sneak through. You can fire a missile from wherever you want.
Mm. I think in
Look,
Saudi Arabia's case, they intercepted four, the fifth one made it through or something
no,
like
no,
that.
That's okay. The point is, you can't stop a country from firing missiles from where it has.
Right, right.
No amount of air power will be able to do that. Look, today, look at the military situation. What is Iran worried about? The threat is from the air.
Correct.
They'll hide. How much intel can you generate? How much you can do? Nothing, right? Nothing beyond a point that intel has got no value. That's another thing. All this thing of technology, space, beyond a point you can't do it. And Iran has prepared for this day. So they're hiding their missiles, whatever they have. They're moving around and they're firing. I told you when I'm now going back when I'm going back to 2010. I had a regiment of Brahmos, I had a regiment of Pinaka, I had a regiment of Grad at that time. And Smirch. A regiment is 12 to 14 launchers, 12 to 14, not 1, 2, 12 to 14 launchers, each capable of firing 40. And the Grad and all, I had 18 launchers. I had to hide them. My biggest problem is how to hide them. Not fire them. Firing is the easiest part. You go and fire and bloody run off from there. But you have to hide them. It used to take me a lot of effort to hide my launchers. Okay? And I perfected that. I know how to hide. I know what Iranians are doing because any sensible guy will ultimately come to that. You use the ground and you won't know whether it's a launcher there or not. And it can be in plain open sight in front of a satellite or whatever is beaming from the top. The ground will help you. I'm sure. And that's mountainous terrain in Iran. So I'm sure they are doing it. Okay. But the interesting thing is how they've got their command and communications. They've got some internal form of communications which are going, which are good. And they're able to hit. So that is not a big deal. And for them to hit 1 or 2 missiles is not a big deal. The only way you can reduce this whole thing is actual physical occupation of that area. If not full, some part. Push the guys back. If you have to push, that means at least 30 to 40 kilometers of beyond the coastline you have to sanitize, which means a full operation, for which the Americans today are not organized. And 5,000 troops won't do this. Just to clear the Strait of Hormuz, you'll need 2 divisions. 2 divisions are 40,000 troops. A corps. 40 to 60,000 troops are required because you have to go, you have to launch across, get a bridgehead across, and then go ahead and occupy areas and occupy further areas up to 50 kilometers. It's a big area. And there are 6, 7 points. Militarily, that's what General Hari Mohan and I spoke. Right? The least is all these small islands you have to capture. Least. Even that they're not, I don't know whether how many islands these chaps 5,000 will capture. That Quisham is out of their reach. Okay, so there is a problem. The politico-military setup in USA has landed itself in a problem. I thought till yesterday when they were eliminating the leaders, and reducing the missile capability of Iran was great till yesterday. The moment the Israelis went and touched that gas thing, they've gone crazy. We'll see how it goes. We are in the situation. You see, it's like this: you are in a train accident. Unfortunately, the train accident is evolving as the train is running. You can't stop the train, the accident is ongoing, right? It's like one of those science fiction movies. What do you do? Okay. And the guys involved in this train accident are not bothered. They're continuing happily. The guys, the collateral damage is coming to all of us. Okay. Now let's get back to this presentation and let me say, okay, the Saudi has come out yesterday. They're saying, look, Iran planned all this in advance, and what we are witnessing, everything, their behavior is not a coincidence, but an extension of a historical record based on coercion, rejection, ye wo jo bhi hai. Okay. And then, of course, he said, I have to come in. That's what the Saudi Arabian foreign minister said, right? He's made a number of comments on Iran's attacks across the Gulf region. 2 statements of note where his comments saying that Saudi Arabia reserves the right to take military action against Iran. So, will Saudi Arabia join in this? And Saudi Arabia's patience as it relates to ongoing Iran strikes against Gulf nation is not limitless. He's made this. He says, I will not wait further, I will join in. Okay. So, of course, a lot of behind the scenes action would be happening and all that. But, well, this is where you are. You're looking at an expansion of once Saudi comes in, the rest also will come in. Okay. So, how do you look at this? Do you think Saudi will come in actually? Do you think Iran, UAE, and Saudi will bury their hatchet and come in?
I think UAE is going to come in. They've already announced that they are going to take part, and Saudi is probably having no other choice, General Shankar, because see, they are becoming collateral damage in all this conflict. And how long are you going to say, okay, US is taking care of our interests, and they are not? It's the truth. It's not something that's something it's out there in plain sight for everybody to see. So United States has a limitation in that if you are going to get hit from 10 different places, all those countries which have which it has given security guarantees, it will not be able to help them. So they may again, Saudi Arabia may be given more arms from United States, say okay, you do it. But see, Saudi Arabia doesn't have boots on the ground. UAE does not have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
So this is not Ramayana Mahabharata where B.R. Chopra shows things firing off in one in the air, the other thing goes and hits that and just falls off. That's not that's not going to happen here. So it's a real mess of a problem.
No, they've created a mess. I think
Yeah.
yesterday, what the development which has happened yesterday, they've created a mess. You see, the point is that this mess will have to come to a stage where you have to finish off the whole story fast. Okay, if the whole story is going to come to negotiation and you're going to finish off the whole thing fast, the Strait of Hormuz will remain with Iran. It will not be with anyone else. Then that's going to
Yes.
be a major problem. We'll discuss this in the evening again.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. Correct.
I'm just flagging the problem. Okay, let's get back to our presentation because there are many more issues in this. And then, of course, Shiv Arur yesterday came out, in India Today. He says, look, Trump started a war without consulting his allies and partners. Then he mocks his allies and partners. Now he expects them to help him out of this war with Iran. Smooth. I think it's very funny. And Trump has alienated so many people, right? His friends, foes, everyone he's alienated, but now he wants everyone to cooperate with him. So, to that extent, I think USA has also painted itself into a corner. Yeah, over to you.
Well, you are absolutely right in that limited point that US has painted itself into a corner, and that whether he consulted with the others or not, I can't really say one way or the other, General Shankar, because we don't know. There are ambassadors involved, there are communiques going back and forth, and when the top leadership got taken out, clearly they would have consulted because Keir Starmer is not the kind of person to keep quiet. After all, much of the assets of the Khamenei family and perhaps much of the top leadership is in one British
London.
tax haven or the other. I'm just broadening the thing. It might not
Yeah,
be
yeah.
just in London, right? So this guy so there is another conflict going on for a while now, about 2 3 years now. Even during Biden administration, it started, and that is to basically dismantle the financial structure that benefited London primarily. And United States has said enough is enough. We are going to take back control of this financial structure, and it moved into a series of things. For example, United States started taking out gold that was deposited in London banks, in Lloyd's of London. That has been going on. In fact, they are saying every flight carries some gold back to United States. Why did the United States say do that? Because they figured that United Kingdom was doing what is called as rehypothecation. It's a different matter that in American banks also, American financial institutions also have indulged in the same thing. See, this is all like tide is going out, sir. The tide is going out. You will see who has still got their clothes on and who doesn't. So this is the other thing going on right now. This financial arm wrestling that is going on back and forth, and we have to see how so Trump is very clear. He says that the financial capital also has to be in the United States, there are reasons for that. I've been following that closely. I know what the UK was going to do. While you can say 15% of the uh, just broad numbers of the banks and financial institutions in United States are doing this rehypothecation, 70 to 80% are guilty of the same thing. It is believed in the whole of Europe. And that's why they want to go to war, and they want to go to war with Russia because they always see the 70 trillion that Russia has in its assets. Never mind that much of it is too cold to be extracted. Otherwise, Russia would have done it. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah. So I think so.
So,
That right. So there are major issues in this war. There are collaterals happening, and you have to think of many other issues which are connected. So let's get back to that. Another connected issue is this: what Tulsi Gabbard came out yesterday, and very interesting statement. We'll play it out also. He says the intelligence community assesses that Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and Pakistan have been researching and developing an array of novel, advanced, or traditional delivery systems with nuclear payloads, and that put our homeland within range. This is very important the way I look at it. Let's hear what she said actually.
yeah,
The intelligence community assesses that Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and Pakistan have been researching and developing an array of novel, advanced, or traditional missile delivery systems with nuclear and conventional payloads that put our homeland within range.
Right. So now, in addition to that, the CIA chief said that Iran would have had the ability to range missiles to the continental US if this had not been done. So there are two aspects. One is this war, it appears now as, in retrospect, that it is prophylactic to a large extent to ensure that Iran doesn't have the capability to reach US. Right? It's not only Iran, but Pakistan, AO, and all that. But I want to discuss about Pakistan. Why is US been so blind to all this? Because this report by Tulsi Gabbard, right, as a this is an official report she has given out, is not new. It's old. 10 months back, 1 year back, this it had come out that Pakistan is developing rocket engines which will take their rockets up to USA. Why is still USA treating the Pakistani buffoons like with kid gloves? That's the question. That's the perplexing thing which we need a view on. Over to you, sir.
sir, you remember our famous RAW person, Bahukutumbi Raman?
Yeah.
He used to say that, look, Pakistan is like a mosquito. We can anytime stub it out. It is China that we need to deal with. I mean, this is his book called Cowboys, KAO Boys. Do read it. It's an essential reading for how Raw evolved and so on and so forth. I'm sure America has done its math, and they think that they can, twist Pakistan in any which way they want. And right now, looks like they feel they need them to try and we see. Remember that front hasn't opened yet. The front from the western Pakistan into the eastern Iran, because it is believed that there are lots of tunnels that are built there, and there could be a huge cache of missiles hiding there too. We don't that's still unopened chapter at this point of time. So maybe,
Look,
yeah, go ahead, sir.
that
Yeah,
chapter won't open. Let me give you my view so far. What has Pakistan been doing? There's a view today in the. I saw that. I couldn't get that. There's an Arab who says Pakistan and Saudi had a deal,
right,
and Pakistan cannot renege on the deal. If Saudi has been attacked so far, Pakistan should have been there sitting and helping it out.
correct,
But Pakistan has gone and escalated this war with Afghanistan.
right.
And hence, Pakistan is evading that completely. And it will continue to evade. And the punching bag will be Afghanistan. Right? That's a different thing. What will happen to Pakistan? We'll talk of that in a different day. But this is the story where that Western thing was not going to open, right? And Pakistan is such a perfidious kind of a country which has now let down Saudis. Saudis who gave them money, UAE
Right.
who gave them money. They are enemies with both. They're suddenly friendly with Iran, and they're hitting Afghanistan, who were once their friends, and letting down USA also. And they want help from USA. So where does that leave Pakistan? Right? But more importantly, where does it leave these people? That's what I said. So if you see, there are ways, you pros and cons to the way you argue for this war and against this war. Right? But my own thing is, this war has come to a proportion where Trump could have probably exited it about a week back.
Yeah.
Your view on that?
Very true. Very true. He had that moment when Cuba said that we are willing to talk. It was a golden moment at that point of time. I've got to win here, and these guys, I've disabled all the military infrastructure in Karg Island. You guys take it from here. I
He
don't
didn't
that
do.
point. He could have just declared victory and pulled back,
Victory there at that
and
point, and yeah,
yeah.
okay. Anyway, so that's what it is now. You have reports coming that allies are discussing how to open the Strait of Hormuz. What can NATO come and do here? Nothing. They can do nothing. What USA can't do, NATO can't do. Right? Then now Russia has come and said, look, India is an influential power and it is capable of playing a role to find a solution to this problem. So it is not only others who are saying. 2 3 days back, someone also said India. Yeah, that is Finland President Alexander Stubb. He said India has to come in and to play a mediating role. Someone else earlier had said that Mr. Modi has to pick up a phone and speak to both. This war will end. Now Russia has also started coming in. So India has to take a call whether it wants to enter this whole story as a mediator or not. Because I think if you don't, you miss an opportunity. You miss an opportunity on two counts. One is that you don't count if you don't mediate. If you want your global power to increase, you have to mediate. And the second point of thing is that, look, you mediate, then your own security improves, your own situation improves. You still have channels of communications open and nice with everyone. uh, do you think India should get into mediation or not, and your views on that?
Sir, they have no choice other than to start getting into this thing. 42% of their imports are based on this. Your whole model of pricing is going to go out of whack. You can't keep importing from, halfway across the world. Those costs go up. The longer thing stays on seas, the more dangerous it becomes. And it's just not the way. This has to be the way. And not only that, Iran needs money once it stops this madness to reconstruct, and India has the tools, and it can, with a proper partnership, India can have good infrastructure in place for the cheapest cost, perhaps, of any other person who can come in and do this thing. See, Iran will not have even such the way they are getting hit. Many dual use technology companies are also getting decimated, which means suddenly you start having people not even having basic tools like screwdrivers, spanners, and things like that. So, see, this is what it is. When you build something and in stable times, you've got a whole plethora of things that you can immediately start, scaling up and start doing things. Now, suddenly, very vital component will start becoming scarce. So, Iran needs to understand this. But in Iran, what is going to happen is this part, did Israel and United States not think it through? That if you decapitate the entire leadership, there is no person that you can talk to. Agrachi or Pezeshkian, they've already expressed their inability to do any action on part of the Iranian people. If
Yeah,
the current president who has been there for 2 years, he's saying that, I mean, I'm not even looking at the new prince.
rest of the
He's
guys to come in.
not
Yeah,
even in
I
the It's not in the same stadium.
Yeah, yeah, I
So,
agree with you.
so
I
Iran, what do you really want to do? Iranian people, I think, may come out, but what are they going to come out with and protest what? Because they are going to be struggling for their basic amenities very soon. That's my fear,
look.
sir. Over to you.
Yesterday, I explained to everyone a 20-20-60 phenomenon.
Hmm.
20 people are with the regime. 20% of Iranians are with the regime. 20% are against the regime. Okay, generally, this is the view. Someone informed spoke about this and wrote about this. And 60% of the people in Iran just want to get on with a better life. Okay. Now, this 60%, whatever USA and Israel are doing, have largely swung towards the hardliners. That's the pity. So no one will come on the streets. Will they come on the streets? I don't think so. If they have not come on the streets so far, where will they come ahead? So we'll see where this goes, because I think it's come to a stage where more military might has got come to a point of no return for anyone.
Right.
The only way forward is negotiation, and negotiation has its problems. Who'll negotiate? Who'll mediate? Right? And of course, internationally, the center of gravity has to be that Strait of Hormuz cannot be in Iranian hands.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so these are the things. We'll see how it goes, and let me now go through, and then so that we can take a few questions also.
Yeah.
Right, uh, uh, our Prime Minister has spoken to UAE MBZ and said we condemn the attacks on UAE during a call. That's fine. So he's taken some kind of a position against Iran, right? Then a lot of Russian oil is coming into India. So the problem for India is not oil. Oil is okay because we were anyway getting Russian oil. There's also news of a lot of ships which were going earlier to China being diverted to India for many reasons. What are the reasons we don't know? Oil, we won't have a problem. It's the LNG which is going to be a problem. LNG, that
Yes.
means LPG and all that. And prices will go up. We're going to go through inflation. But it'll be nothing compared to what's going to happen to the rest of the world. That's also something which I want to tell everyone. Okay? Right. And there's a very nice saying I saw. I'm not going to get into this further. He says, support the country you live in or live in the country you support. So I leave it at that. I thought it was a good thing he said. And last but not the least, just look at United Nations. No one is talking of United Nations. We've not spoken of United Nations for the past 3 days. And it's collapsing. It doesn't have money. It doesn't have money to run. Right? So this is the state we are in today at this point of time. This is what the status is end of day 19. We'll see what happens in day 20 because it's still early morning in Tehran and all that. Day must be breaking. You'll see what happens on day 20 as things move, and we'll talk of it. Today's day 20. Sir, any points? Otherwise, we'll any your views further, and we'll take questions.
Sir, I want to reiterate this. India cannot sit this one out. You have to actively engage with Iran. You understand the culture without, there has to be a way that they can get their message across to say, okay, these are the things that you will agree to, and these are the things that you are going to abide by. And who that person is, it could even be Pezeshkian. They have to be something. See, people, like you said, people may hate America, but if Pezeshkian says, look, whatever happened in the past, we have to start moving forward. That kind of a statement, like a statement, if it comes from him, and if India says, okay, right now, this is the best choice you have, people of Iran, get behind him. We will make sure that the other side will not damage you more. That's the only way I can phrase this. We'll make sure that the other side does not damage you more. In exchange, you need to do a few things, like, for example, the um, uh, Hormuz Strait. You will not be able to control it the way you have done it. And but at least, see, there is a saying, Sarvanashe Samutpanne Ardham Tyadachi Pandita. That means when your entire property is at risk, a wise man will give up 50% so that he can survive with the remaining 50%. Ardham Tyadachi Pandita. So this was quoted by P.V. Narasimha Rao. when he came up with the reforms in 1991, 1992 in the parliament, in the floor of the parliament. I don't know how many BJP people understood this. Suddenly he switches to Sanskrit and he says that.
Yeah.
So the same thing goes for Iran also today.
But the point is, who's there in Iran to think that? Who's there in Iran to talk of it, right? And who's there to form this board of peace for Hormuz, or the board of Hormuz, or whatever it? Who's going to put that mechanism? We don't know. And why? That's why in the end I brought UN in. UN is one mechanism which can do it, but it is bankrupt.
Correct, correct.
So
I think
India
UN
has to step
is,
in.
yeah, UN
India
is
has to
completely
step in.
gone. Yeah, UN is
Gone.
beyond the point of no return. India has to step in at this point of
Step in,
time,
and yeah,
and
that's it.
people of Iran will love you for it. And you don't have to put any boots on the ground. It is just calm thinking and trying to understand. I know you culturally because you are close to us culturally. This is what has happened. Your internet
Yeah,
has been completely cut off. This is what is the story. This is the reality. Understand where you are right now and
yeah.
how
I completely
which
agree
slope you are
with
going
you.
to go down, sir.
I completely agree with you. In fact, my personal view, this is the test for Mr. Modi's leadership.
Yep.
If he doesn't, if he flunks this, yeah, India will continue. Even if nothing happens, it will
Correct,
continue.
correct, correct.
But okay, but if Modi wants to be remain an international statesman, and go out as one of the best prime ministers of India, he has to take this plunge.
Very
He can
true.
get away
Very true.
without, but
Yes, yes.
that's how it is. Then if he doesn't do it, he'll remain where he is. That's it.
Correct, correct.
Okay. Right. So let's take some questions now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. The first question by Rohit is: do you think USA's strategy to bump off the oil price of the world to $200 or more and sell Venezuelan oil and US oil at super premium and dump their close to $40 trillion debt to the world? Is it that strategy which Trump is adopting? Is it a financial strategy of bumping the oil up big through this war so that he makes a killing? Your
Um,
view?
G- General Shankar, it's not so easy as you turn the price up and immediately you start becoming profitable. See, what has happened over the last decade or so, viewers, I don't know how many of you know this. There is something called as shale oil that comes, you have to extract crude from sand. Okay, and a lot of water is needed. It's very process intensive, and they had determined that for that to be profitable, it had to be around $60 per barrel. This was in 10 years ago, and there's a small period of time where the price had gone up, like 2014 it was at $140 per barrel, and everybody jumped into shale. People invested a lot of money in states like North Dakota and South Dakota, not Texas. Texas already was doing that. So they did that. But what happened was the OPEC realized that their bacon was in trouble. What happened? OPEC started overproducing. And the price started going down and down and down and down to $30, even $22 a barrel per day. One day, I think it was a 22. And all these companies, they went out of market. They went bust. And they had huge loans because I said it is a process intensive thing and they couldn't pay. So many of those companies are bankrupt now. So even if the price now starts going up, I doubt if many of those bankrupt companies will take their assets out of bankruptcy, reinvest in shale. I don't see all that stuff happening, Dhanil Shankar. Instead, they might just use, like, for example, Reliance to start, hey, go to high gear here, construct this thing, let's get the pump the thing from Venezuela. It's just a matter of trying to figure out a few things, right? They are at 1 to 2 million barrels per day. Let's see how we can bring it to 4 to 5 million barrels per day. Use that to basically try to see this thing through. I think that's what United States is going to do. United States keeping the dollar, the barrel price high, it actually also hurts US more than anybody else. US is a consumer-based economy. 70% of US's productivity is based on consumer buying. And today, only 20% of the US population is buying. These are the people who are, upper middle class and rich. They are continuing to splurge and they are continuing to buy. Whether you take real estate, whether you take new cars, new whatever, these are the people doing it. And at what point they are going to start, dialing back? Already, sir, the stock market is beginning to shrink, meaning like
Yep.
the prices are beginning to crash.
Yep.
So
So
it's not
things are bad.
forever. Things are
Yeah,
bad.
things are
It,
bad. Things are bad. There's no doubt.
so I don't think that is the reason. In fact, if anything, it's beneficial for the United States to keep the price of
The
crude lower,
low.
not higher. So it's
Yeah,
counter
that.
it's counterintuitionary, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
Counterintuitive, but that's what it is.
yeah. I think that's a very correct explanation which you've given, right? Only thing I'll add is any solution to this problem of getting more oil into the market is time intensive. Also, it's not only equipment process intensive; it is time intensive. It's not going to happen
Very
in a
true.
hurry. It's going to take 5 to 6 months to happen, right? Yeah. Thanks a lot, Seattle. What Seattle Sonic, for becoming joining us as a member. Then of course Abhishek Trivedi says, respected sir, both US and Iran are not reliable. Then whom India should talk to? Very interesting question. Yeah, your view on this.
Sir,
Whom should we talk to?
I can tell you one thing. US is transactional, and as much as one can say US cannot be trusted, viewers, this will hurt you. India can also not be trusted. I can give you example one, example two, example three of many prime ministers, even BJP prime ministers, who have walked back on their promises. They say one thing when they are on a visit to United States, they go back and change their mind. So this is not something, it's a two-way street. Let's accept it. As far as Iran
Eh,
is
no,
concerned,
the point is this. No, the point he's trying to make is it's not whether you're going to say so or not. If you have to mediate and you have to this thing, you need to have both these chaps who are reliable enough to speak to. That's the point he's making.
I
So,
think, sir, India is somebody that they trust. You can say that I don't trust you, but India is an entity they trust. See, you
registrar.
at the end of the day, you got to go and sell it to the people of Iran. You can sell something which India brokers and says that this is what we are going to do, and this is how we bring you back up to your prosperity levels. And in the process, if the regime has to change a little bit at least, so be it. So this is something, it has to happen on multiple fronts: political front, military front, economic front, plus, lifestyle itself. Iran was a prosperous country. You can see it again
Yeah,
and again. They are more prosperous than India. Even through all these, sanctions, they managed to find a way to eke out a good living. So
yeah,
I think US has no other option. Not. I'll tell you another thing, General Shankar. This is my gut. It will be the Middle Eastern countries that will say, "Let us start going behind what India has to do. Let's put India to try
yeah.
and get
That's
this
a
out
good
of this."
point you made. It
Yeah,
is the Middle Eastern countries, the West Asian countries who will stand behind India. And that's the trust you have to use, the trust of the Middle Eastern countries, and get both these untrustworthy, opponents onto some kind of a framework and see. Look, this is a call which India has to take. Like I said, if you want to transit to a big power net security provider, A1, no one is talking of China at all. Everyone is talking of India, right? China doesn't have equity in this game. It's India which has the equity in the game. You have equity in the game because you are dependent on the Gulf for oil.
correct, 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 correct.
You need Iran on your side. Whether you need a USA or not, you need Iran always, right? So you have skin in the game. So you might as well get in and get. You might scrape some elbows, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. Okay. Then, of course, Kiran says, Sir, as always, indebted for the amount and strength of information you bring to us. Please keep bringing us more and more such stuff, makes our day. Thanks a lot, Kiran, for your contribution and your view. The whole idea is to get something more, and I'm just trying to see if there's something else which we have got in the comments. And let me see. Uh, yeah, this is a very thing. See, who wants a long war? Is it Israel who want to force USA for a 20-year war and hammer in Iran with ground invasion like Iraq? No one wants a long war. And the dynamics of this whole story are different. Do you have any views on this?
Viewers, Israel is tired. They've been fighting for since the day they were formed, 1948. It is just gear, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, fourth gear, third gear, fifth gear. That kind of stuff is what they are going through. I'm sure they would like to stop. See, the whole premise here is the religion is the one perhaps that has brought things to this stage. I'm not going to say that that alone is the reason. You always want to externalize your problem. That is standard thing for any country. So today Israel would love to stop, but if they stop, the other person doesn't stop, what happens? You get
Yep.
decimated. You get decimated, right?
Yep.
So everywhere it's the same thing. I will stop if you will stop, right? For that, you need to have a reliable umpire, an umpire who follows the rules of cricket. Cricket being fair. Okay. There is another meaning for cricket called fair. Being fair. That's not cricket. That means that's not being fair.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that the condition is tailor made for India to come in. Yes, like General Shankar said, there will be a few elbows which will start feeling a little rubbed in the wrong direction. But this has to be done quickly too. It has to be done
Yeah.
quickly. It has to be done softly. Have a iron rod, but wrap it around with velvet cloth and do it right. That's what I
Yeah.
would suggest.
Yeah. Not only that, at this point of time, there's also opportunity, in this whole story. Iran and generally the rest of Middle East are aligned. It is Iran and its proxies who are not aligned with everyone else.
Right.
And it is Iran which has to change its mind. Mind you, if you go back
Correct.
into the 90s, the peace deal between Yasser Arafat and Israel at that point of time, where Palestine was being formed, which Clinton keeps talking of,
Correct.
right, collapsed because of Iran.
Mm.
Fundamentally, it collapsed because of Iran and the Ayatollahs at that point of time. Iran has continued with that legacy. That I have spoken about this in a separate podcast. Right now, uh, if Iran has to change its views, then it can dial down all these proxies, and things might start settling down. But for Iran to change, you need a change in leadership.
Correct.
But will that leadership change because of more violence to Iran? You've done whatever you had to. If you keep, pressing Iran, you're only generating more hate. So we are in a cycle where you need statesmanship to come out of it. And Trump is no statesman. Xi Jinping is no statesman. Vladimir Putin is no statesman. Let me be very clear about it. He is a Pied Piper. I call him the Pied Piper. He plays this pipe when he has to, and everyone dances to him at that point of time. So who's the statesman today? The only guy who's got this opportunity to be a statesman is Mr. Narendra Modi. I do hope he uses it. And I leave it at that. And as Ramakrishna says, all viewers like this, share it, and with subscribe to P Guru, subscribe to Ganashot, and everyone will keep coming back. We'll keep coming back because this is something which intensely affects India, right? And we're going to talk of it every day till we come to a level where things start looking normal. So we are in for the long haul. Every day morning, 9, 9:30, 10, depending on our other commitments, we'll be on air. At times we might be doing it together. At times it might not happen so. But you will get the information. At times you might have to watch P Guru separately. You might have to watch Gunner Shot separately. It doesn't matter, right? With this, your final words, Shreyaji, and then we'll close.
Thank you so much, sir. Viewers, like General Shankar said, the two channels are very aligned in geopolitics. We have Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. What does it take for the world to become more peaceful, more at peace with itself and with its neighbors? This is the whole goal, to try and understand each other's perspectives. And I urge both of you, I mean, all of you, to uh, subscribe to both the channels, because sometimes you might miss out one perspective while watching the other one, and so on and so forth. This is really, it's coming from years of observing people, observing civilizations, interacting with various countries, communities. I have worked in Silicon Valley. That's certainly the melting pot of everything you can think of. General Shankar has worked in India, and he's also interacted with many countries. He's risen to a very senior position there. And I love these interactions with generals, because you get some perspectives that you don't get from people who are hired to go and talk about something. And there is a shallowness in it. We are trying to go to the depth of the matter, and this is what we have come up with. India needs to step up. That's our hope. And definitely, I know PMO office watches P Guru's channels because we give sometimes good stuff, and they feel. I mean, I'm sure this is not something that they are going to let go. Let's hope so, because for the world and also for India, this is a must. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, namaskar, and we'll join in at 8 o'clock in the evening with the
Yes.
three good generals with this. Thank you, Jai Hind to all of you.